surgeons' decisions. They got the stats playing minds like percussion. MLB predictions spark the discussion. Stacking cash high in Fenway's monster. Slinging wild bets like cowboy imposters. Reading those innings like Nostradamus. Wave the green hot streets like Bahamas. Spreadsheets everywhere, mathematician minds analyze the games, profits they grind, fastballs, curveballs, every pitch is tail, in their heads, knuckleballs never fail. Erik reading numbers like tarot cards, David calling shots like all-star guards, money lines, parlays, come hit with precision, home run predictions, no intermission. High stakes, ballers, cash and checks in. Rise with the bets, swinging from the pen. Erik and David, masters of scoreboard. MLB bets and claim they hoard. High stakes, ballers, cash and checks in. Rise with the bets, swinging from the pen. Erik and David, kings of the ledger. Baseball fortune, spread them like treasure.
Hello and welcome to Diamond Bets for May 16th. My name is Erik, and the Atlanta Braves #1 fan on the other side of the screen, I don't know if it's the right or the left, I'm still getting used to this shit, is David, a.k.a. Better DP21. David, how you doing today, my man?
Doing great, man. Happy to be back and do another episode here, and hopefully cashing more tickets a little bit better than last Friday.
Yeah, last Friday was brutal. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I thought it'd be really interesting. We're about 40 games in, a little more. I thought it would kind of be interesting just to kind of say, hey, what team or player has surprised and disappointed us the most? Obviously, always fun to kind of look at. We each have one for each. Why don't you start us off, my friend?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to talk about my most surprising team, right? And that's going to, come out of the AL Central. A little dyslexia there. But basically, my most surprising team is Kansas City Royals, right? They've come out pretty hot this year. They've had really strong contributions from really young hitters like Bobby Witt Jr., solid pitching that probably nobody really expected within their entire rotation. They're actually middle of the pack. They're only 4.5 games back as I looked this morning in terms of their rankings. When I wrote this, I'm pretty sure they were only like within 2 games or something like that. But they're competing for the AL Central lead, and what I look at is a really big turnaround from recent seasons for themselves. Let's start with the obvious. Bobby Witt Jr. has taken the leap to full-on superstardom. He's an MVP candidate for the AL. He has elite defense, power, speed. He's putting up possibly a 30 season with a 6 to 8 WAR pace, wins above replacement, right? So, if they stay in contention, he's the favorite, at that MVP level. But, he's really showing he's putting on Gold Glove, caliber defense at shortstop, and he's really kind of the engine of this Royal surge, in my opinion, of what is taking them there. And every team needs a player like this in terms of getting them there to the playoffs. So they have that in him. They have a really balanced lineup. Like, while it's really not loaded with those household names that you would probably think of within other teams, they have a really deep lineup. Michael Garcia is breaking out as an offensive leadoff option. Salvador Perez, Mr. Consistency, producing power, handling the pitching staff well. And then Vinny Pasquantino and MJ Melendez really starting to provide timely hitting. I mean, MJ Melendez in years past, I tried to pick him up here and there when he had like hot streaks in my fantasy, lineups and stuff like that. But he's shown a lot more improved discipline this year. And, kudos to their coaching staff for getting those players on track. Within the rotation, their pitching was really kind of expected to be kind of more of a weak spot, but they've really stepped up. Like Cole Reagans, not a surprise. I had this guy marked like 2-3 years ago when he came up, even as a rookie, that he was going to be a legit #1 starter. Now he is. He's got strikeout stuff. His command is well improved. Brady Singer has also bounced back after a rocky last couple, season stretch for himself. He's inducing weak contact and going deeper into games than, just the normal, maybe first 5, showing some consistency around a 6 to 7 inning, help out with the bullpen and keep them fresh. So the staff overall is really outperforming projections, and they actually sit within the top 10 in ERA so far across the league. So, the top third of a pitching staff that probably nobody ever expected to be there. Defensively, they're very efficient. They're playing well across the board. Massey, Garcia, and Witt from a solid infield perspective. Outfitters have been limiting extra base hits, contributing really just to an overall strong, team performance and saving runs from the defensive perspective. So really had low expectations, and they have a high output, right? I mean, coming into this season, I want to say, I projected them probably around 70, 75 wins, something like that. They're pacing toward the high 80s, which, again, combine that in that kind of more wide open AL Central, and KC looks like a really, legit playoff threat here.
Dude, I'm proud of you, man. My internet completely went out again. Fuck you, Comcast. And you just fucking went like a champ, dude. And I come back and you're just rolling it off, dude. Dude.
Nice.
Proud of you, man. Fucking proud of you, dude. I agree with you, dude. Royals, I was really low on them when I did my season preview on my betting show I do, on which you've been on many of times. The guest that week, he was low on the Royals. He had them as their season win total under. One guy who watches my stuff regularly talks mad shit because he's a huge Royals fan. So, yeah, definitely props to the Royals, and you hit the nail on the head. They're playing great ball. The team that surprised me the most, and I knew this team was going to take a little bit of regression because of how good they were last year, is the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, granted, I know you guys are saying, how can a team that only has 21 wins be a team that surprises you? This team lost 6 of its top 7 pitchers to start the season.
Yeah.
They signed old man Quintana, who's been good. This team is just picking up anyone that they could, and Freddie Peralta has been the only number one. They're bringing up kids that aren't ready for the big leagues yet to have spot starts, and then they just send them back down. Case in point, the other night, Logan Henderson came up, pitched great, and then immediately sent back ground. This team is just kind of band-aiding it together until they get everyone healthy. And as soon as I can find a better plus number on them to make the playoffs, I'm going to do it. Offense has been great. Jackson Chirios took that step forward. Christian Yelich is still Mr. Dependable. And William Contreras has no power because he's but he's still hitting the ball all over the place. I think this Brewers team is a team in the Central that's being overlooked. And I know everyone's going to say they have 21 wins. They're not that good. But, dude, 21 wins without 6 of your top 7 pitchers. I love that, dude. So I think the Brewers are my most surprising team. Biggest disappointment, my friend.
Yeah, it has to be, of course, the fantasy player I drafted as my first baseman, Mr. Christian Walker. So basically, as of we're at mid-May, and his performance with the Astros has fallen way short of expectations. It's marking either a notable decline from his previous seasons or just a really slow start. I mean, I try not to put so much weight on the first couple months when it comes to teams and players, but he is not finding it right now. And this is a player that Houston went out and got because he's held to the standard of a top 10 first baseman in the league, right? So, if he's hitting below 240 with fewer than 7 to 8 home runs through the rest of this month, and, his OBP and what have you drop significantly, then he's underperforming. And right now, his stats as of walking in today, batting average just above the Mendoza line, 214. Career average 250, right? So that's why I say 240 is kind of his mark of where he should be. He's only had 4 home runs all season, which puts him behind the pace of his typical, 25, 30 home run season for sure. Unless, like I said, unless he really picks it up throughout the rest of this month and everything else to get back on track. His exit velocity and hard hit rate remain above average. League average of those things is 88 miles an hour. He's coming off the bat from him about 90. Hard hit percentage league average is 35%. He's at 46% for himself. But the discrepancy is really between his expected and actual WOBAs, which on base average, right? So league average is 320. Expected is 290 for him. So he's underperforming relative to the quality of, his contact and kind of just where he should be. So I'm a little curious if he's just in his own head right now as he's transitioned and, assumed the cleanup spot. And, if that's too much pressure over here in Houston for himself. I don't think so. I mean, he was clearly that guy in Arizona. But, that's the Astros offense has been evolving, and they went out to get key additions like Walker and Paredes and, to fill that void left by some of their other key departures. But his season is just reflecting a really big downturn in both, traditional and advanced metrics. It puts him as a disappointment relative to, what he's been established as and, as a vet within the league. And like I said, he's held to that standard of top 10, first baseman where you need your power guys to step up and be that person to carry a team, similar like with the Royals, right? Like they look for him to be that clutch player and put that output out there, to really carry a team forward in terms of where they want to go. So the only thing I'll say to kind of leave on a positive for him is that he does have some underlying metrics to suggest the potential for rebound, but this current output, it falls well short of expectations for a player in his role.
The Astros totally got rid of analytics this year, and they went more old school mentality. And I wonder if that is kind of planning into it. You know what I mean? Like they kind of changed the way that they kind of proceed everything. It's going to be interesting to see this season kind of how it plays out. And Walker was one of the big things that came on, and he just hasn't came on. So I agree with it. He's really struggled. He's been a huge
I'm also, I don't think I actually was aware about them getting away from any kind of analytics. I mean, when teams these days, I think of Moneyball. Like I really do. I mean, that's what the league is to a degree in some aspect. I mean, you remove some key aspects of players and you're hoping to replace them. And, what did they say, throughout that movie, like the aggregate or whatever, right? And it's all about that on-base percentage. Who's getting on, who's able to show, it. I mean, that's why we always say it. A walk's a run. You get on base, you're scoring runs. And, that's what he was meant to do, is find his way on base. And like I said, his expected output right now, well below league average, and he definitely needs to get those numbers up.
The team that has disappointed me the most is Baltimore. I mean, this team came in a lot of young talent. And I kind of did a deep dive because July 31st, the trade deadline. Tigers stayed 4 out of the wild card, 4th place in the Central. Baltimore calls, is like, hey, we want Skubal. Tigers are like, we want Mayo. And, oh my God, who's the other kid they want? Jackson Holiday. We want both those guys.
Yep.
Baltimore is like, you can only have one. Tigers, I'll give the Tigers credit. They held firm that, hey, you know what? We want both or no. Baltimore went out. They got the guy from the Rays from Effin, who really didn't lead them to anything. They ended up losing, getting swept by the Royals that we just talked about. This year, they are 15-27. Their record since they declined that trade, 32-54. The Tigers' record, 53-34. So it's kind of interesting. That's a massive swing. And you elected to keep Kobe Mayo. Now let's kind of look at Kobe Mayo. Spring training went 8 for 42. Set him back down. Came up at the beginning of May. Sent him back down to AAA. 252, 6 homers, 22 RBIs. Called him back up at the beginning of May. Went 1 for 12. He's already been sent back down. Jackson Holiday. This year, 264, 4 home runs, 12 ribbies. Now, look, that's respectable, but it's not like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? It's not franchise altering. Now, look, I get these are 2 young guys. I understand that.
Yeah.
But when we look at what pitching is, and you and I talk about pitching so much, you have legit the best pitcher in the game right now. Like you could have had. And like last year, you could have had him and Burns on the front end of your fucking rotation, and you decided not to do it because you wanted to keep these two guys. And championship windows close fast. And the O's right now are one of the worst teams in the league, and they have nothing in terms of pitching or anything on the horizon. And if they already show they're not going to trade any of these young guys to add the best pitcher in the game, it just shows me that this management just doesn't get it. You know what I mean? Like nothing's for certain. Like Jackson, Holiday, Kobe Mayo, they may never meet all-star players. Mayo may not even make the league. But you have to take that gamble. Many moons ago, Jacob Turner, top pitching prospect in baseball, was in the Tigers system. Tigers would not part for him for anything.
Right.
Never amounted to anything. Eventually, he got released, went to the Cardinals, had one start, was awful. So my point is this. The O's blew their point, blew their chance to be something, probably blew our chance to win a title last year. And now they're vastly underperforming, especially when you just kind of have the names down on paper. Now, look, I know there's been tons of injuries, but still, with the talent that's on that roster, you should not be the worst team in the AL East, behind Toronto and behind Tampa Bay. So that's it. So we need to look at how we did last week. Let's kind of take a look back and see what we did last week. My friend, wasn't our best week. Disappointing week last week. David hit the Dodgers plus 105, lost the Angels plus 125, and the Cubs plus 115 for the first five. Old Uncle Rico pushed the Brewers first five minus 105, lost the Royals and Red Sox over 9, and the Giants first five. Year to date, we are 5-2 plus 0.22 U. Disappointing day. Hopefully we can bounce back to it. Let's jump right into it. Both of us are attacking Boston. Why don't you tell me why you like Boston?
Yeah, so I mean, looking at this one, basically the way I look at this is, Sale has not been in best form, but he's got a whip right now average of about 1.7, and so that is already a red flag to me outside of the name. Crochet, on the other hand, going for Boston tonight, he was a big name that we were following last year with the White Sox before he got traded or picked up, right? But he is rolling right now. He's got a 1.1 whip average right now, so he's in great form coming into this. The numbers themselves, when I kind of look at this across the board, is that I got Boston ranked as my number 7 overall ranked offense for themselves right now. They've been averaging 5 runs a game, coming into this series. Braves are not far behind. They're just outside my top 10. I ranked them as my number 13 overall offensive team. So, they're not far behind, but Boston hits lefties better than most teams. They're my number 7 overall ranked team when it comes to hitting lefties. So, put Sale in bad form, put Boston with a better, hit average against lefties, and then put their pitching in a great spot as well. And, when I look at their overall bullpen average, I mean, they're both available bullpens at 1.2 right now, so they're in good form. I expect Crochet to go deep as it is. And Atlanta actually struggles against right-handers. And so they're actually, ranked number 17 in the league when it comes to hitting righties. So, I mean, I expect a combination of those factors really to kind of play into this. You're getting this as a pick'em game, a minus 105, really, for both teams. And, from that perspective, I really find the edge, with Boston to jump out on Atlanta pretty early with Sale. Again, just have better hitting metrics when it comes to lefties. Atlanta, worse metrics when it comes to hitting the righties, with Crochet being in better form than Sale, and Boston being, putting up a higher run average coming into this series. So for me, it's pretty straightforward. I like the edges that Boston has all over this game.
Yeah, I took Boston. I got him here at minus 122 for the first 5. Sale's on the mound for Atlanta. And let's be real, this isn't prime Chris Sale. He's got a 3.97 ERA, a 1.14 whip. And I know people are going to say he's looking better his last 3 starts, but that's been against the Pirates, Reds, and Rockies. That's offenses 27th, 18th, and 28th against lefties. Not really a murderous row. Facing the Red Sox tonight, as you mentioned, one of the best teams in the league against left-handed pitching. Over the last 2 weeks, second in average, third in runs against lefties. When we look at when Sale has faced a top 10 offense against lefties for the season, he's gotten hit really hard. 6.27 ERA, 1.21 whip. That tells me he's struggling when the competition is a step up. And we look at just the pitches. Sale relies heavily on his four-seam. Four-seamer throws at 41% of the time, and it hasn't been great for him. He has a -2 run value on that pitch. And we look at the Red Sox projected starting lineup. 6 of the 9 starters in the lineup have a positive run value against the four-seamer. So it's a real tough matchup for him. You mentioned, Garrett Crochet, who's been lights out, 1.93 whip, 1.07 whip, 1.93 ERA on the season. Last 3 starts, 1.89 ERA, 1.1 whip. Braves, you mentioned it, really struggled against lefties. 27th in average, 18th fewest runs on the season versus lefties over the last 2 weeks, 27th in average. Crochet also leans on the four-seamer, throws at 43% of the time. Only Olsen, Baldwin, and White have a positive run value against the four-seamer for the Braves. But when we dwindle it down to only left-handed pitching, it's only Olsen. So look, I think this lineup is going to struggle. And when we kind of look at the trends, Red Sox first 5 this season, 29, 15, and 1, which is, and my internet died out again, and I apologize, 65% with a 37.4% ROI when they're facing a lefty. Even better, 7-2, that's 77.8%, massive 82.7% ROI. Crochet itself, 7-2, first 5 money line, 60% ROI this season. Edge trends are pointing me to the Boston. Give them to me at minus 122, first 5.
I also appreciate you correcting me on the lefty Crochet there. My bad. But all my numbers were right. I just said righty instead of lefty. So
I respect you. Next bet, dude, and I hate this one because I'm a Brewers fan.
I know. Yeah. Let's face it though. Minnesota is red hot right now. So looking at Minnesota versus Milwaukee, you got Joe Ryan going in this matchup. Excuse me, against Chad Patrick. Patrick is in terrible form for the Brewers right now, showing me a 1.8 whip over his last starts, and Joe Ryan, on the other hand, is under 1 in terms of his whip. His whip for himself right now in the last week is 0.3. In the last 2 weeks, 0.5. So this man is not putting people on base. Minnesota, on the other side of the ball, is really a lopsided affair when it comes to offense here. Twins are my number 4 ranked overall offense going into this game, in this series. The Brewers are number 22. So the Twins have been averaging about 6 runs a game for themselves in recent games over the last 3 to 5. On the opposite foot there, the Brewers are averaging half that at only 3 runs a game. So that, again, the offense of Minnesota, they're rolling. They've won their last 10 straight. If anybody was betting the money line, you've made at least $1,000 for yourself. But not only that, like I mentioned, a couple other things. The bullpen for Minnesota, good form at 1.2. That goes for both bullpens, so I have no problem playing the full game. I'm also taking this on the run line at -1 for plus money. Like, the money line itself for this game is not bad. It hasn't gotten away. It's creeping at minus 115. Starting to head up though. I mean, by the time you get to game time, anytime I see an away team in this good of a form, averaging this, the run percentages that they are here, and like I mentioned before, I like to take run lines on away teams because they're guaranteed 9 at bats. Like you're going to get them in there, they have a guarantee to get through and put up some runs. I think just again the combination of factors here: poor pitching, less offense going for Milwaukee these days, better pitching, hot offense for Minnesota. It all just kind of makes sense to me to let's go get some plus money on the run line in this case for Minnesota at plus 110.
You make sense, but I hate it.
I know.
My next bet, I'm going out east. I'm going to take the Nationals here at even money for the first 5. Let's start with Baltimore. I talked about it earlier, how much the MLB landscape would be different if Baltimore traded for Skubal instead. They've just been brutal this year. And we look at it, they've been awful against left-handed pitchers. They have scored the 4th fewest runs against them this season. Over the last 2 weeks, more of the same. They're 22nd in average, 3rd fewest runs against lefties. This offense just can't figure it out. Mackenzie Gore gets the ball for the Nationals. He's been a solid 1.16 whip overall. But here's the key. He's had 4 starts against top 10 lineups versus lefties, which in my eyes has skewed those numbers. When you take out those 4 games, so when the competition is less, his whip drops down to 0.83, which is elite. Now, while the O's are struggling against lefties, the Nationals are thriving. Over the last 2 weeks, 4th in batting average, and have scored the 6th most runs against left-handed pitching. Baltimore starting Cade Polvic today, 5.55 ERA, 1.54 whip, and he leans on his four-seam fastball, throwing it 36% of the time, and that's a problem. He has a -9 run value on that, which means that pitch is awful. And today, the Nationals will be sending out 7 starters that have a positive run value against 4-seamers, which is a great matchup. And Wood, who I am putting my foot down, is going to be in our DFS lineup, an insane 10 run value against 4-seam fastballs this year. Now, when we look at the trends, O's 18 and 24 on the first 5 money line this season, 42.9% of the time. 42%, -5% ROI against lefties, 25%, -54.2% ROI. Flip sides, Nationals this year, if you just take the Nationals every first 5, 25.6% ROI against left-handed pitching. Everything lines up for Washington early in this game. Give me the Nationals here at even money plus 100. Real quick, I've never been to Cameron Yards. I don't know if you have.
I have. Yep.
I think it's cool as hell. They have little marks where all the home runs have been hit.
Hell yeah. That's amazing. That's like the best part about going there.
I had no idea, dude. Like Gina was telling me about it when we did our Preakness stuff, which was amazing.
I mean, over the warehouse, it's something surreal when you see some of those out on the street and you're just walking around back there. It's pretty cool.
Next one, my friend.
Yeah. By the way, really like that bet. It was actually one of my model bets. You just already had it on the board before me, so I figured, we're in alignment is where I'm coming from. Where am I going? All right. So next bet on the board, we're looking at Tampa Bay against Miami. So again, this is one of those games to me when I look at it, it looks a little more lopsided than what, the books are actually kind of giving credit. I mean, they're showing about a -120 for the Rays right now. And again, I'm taking the run line in this instance for Tampa Bay at plus 105. So, again, lopsided kind of behaviors here when I look at the, offense and pitching matchups here. Rays right now are my number 3 overall offense coming into this game. And they won the last couple of series for themselves. Marlins, kind of trending the other direction. They've only won, I think, 3 games out of the last 10. So not putting up a whole lot of offense for themselves right now. They're my number 22 ranked offensive team. You got Taj Bradley going for the Rays. He's in really great form for themselves right now. I think he had a whip under 1, and I think it's only been at 1 over the last 2 weeks. So again, really good form for himself coming into this. Max Meyer, on the other hand, last 2 weeks, 1.76 whip. So he's in really bad form for himself. Even over the last week, he's at about 1.3. So he started to get a little more regression to the mean, if you will, but just bad form overall. Bad offense for the Marlins. Great offense for the Rays. Great pitcher on the mound for the Rays. Their bullpen is also in really good form for themselves, showing a 1.1 whip for themselves. So, back all those things together. I mean, I'm not having to make too much magic here. This is just pretty straightforward. Stats are winning the game and telling me where to put my money. And it's telling me go bet on the Rays. Again, run line, you're getting better plus odds. For a team that's that's got some really hot bats. And from that perspective, the Rays are averaging close to 7 runs a game for themselves. So I really, really like the output of this.
One of the 3 wins I was in attendance for. So the Marlins this season are a perfect 1-0 when I have been there. So. I need to get a big price on my card. This is the best price I could find. I'm going to take the Athletics here, plus 162 on.
This was another one that I had, and you already had it up before me. So I'm just saying, I already had this one marked as well.
Absolutely love this spot. Let's start I always write Oakland. Let's start with the Athletics offense.
So I'm just going to take it from here. But basically, Oakland right now, their offense is in the top 10. Getting this kind of value on someone like Oakland, coming into this matchup, they're my number 7 overall ranked. So at this price at, plus 162, it is crazy value for a team. Now, don't get me wrong. Giants also have a really good high end, in terms of where their bats are. They're in my top 5. They're ranked number 4 overall, for where that's coming from. So the Giants are averaging about 6 runs a game. The Athletics, on the other hand.
All right, I'm back. Where'd I cut off, dude?
I don't even think you made it out of the gate. I just started spitting off offensive stats of the Athletics versus the Giants, just to help out.
So, all right, let me dig in. I'm sorry, guys. My internet sucks, and I'm going to go bitch out Xfinity as soon as we're done with this. All right, plus 162, value play. Let's start with.
Yep.
I'm sorry?
I said that's what I said. That's kind of where I was going. I was just kind of getting into the offense of the price for where these offenses are. I was like, it's extreme value on the Athletics right now.
Against right-handed pitching this year, 8th in batting average, 10th in runs scored. When we look at their form the last 2 weeks, 8th in batting average and 7th in runs scored. This lineup is producing. Now they're going against Logan Webb, who on the surface looks great, 2.6 ERA, 1.16 whip. But A's are a top 10 offense against right-handed pitching. When we just kind of look how Logan Webb has done against similar offenses that are top 10 against right-handed pitching, his ERA jumps up to 7.2 and his whip balloons up to 1.80. That shows me against weaker teams, he's doing well. And when there's a step up in competition, he is struggling. He leans heavy on his sinker. A's are built to handle it. 6 out of the 9 players in the starting lineup tonight have a positive run value against sinkers. Huge edge in the matchup. And look, I've said it before, gambling is all about buying low, selling high. A's are coming off an embarrassing 17-run loss to the Dodgers, and that's exactly where I want to buy in. Teams that have lost their previous game by 15 or more have returned 15.1% ROI on the first 5 for the last 20 years, a perfect buy low spot. Now, JP Sears is on the mound for Oakland. He's been quite elite. He throws a 4-seam fastball as his primary pitch, and the Giants only have 1 hitter in their lineup tonight with a positive run value against it. That's a huge green light for me. Giants have been mediocre versus lefties all year, 18th in batting average, 14th in runs scored. They've been brutal on the first 5 money line against them, 1-7-4 on the season. That's just 12.5% with a negative 47.1% ROI. As for Sears, he just faced 2 elite lefty offenses, in back-to-back games, 2.38 ERA, 0.79 whip in those 2 games. You remove the games he's played against top 10 offenses against lefty pitching, 2.34 ERA, 0.97 whip. He's been elite. So like he's been having to step up. So he's going to have a step down in competition. Sneaky spot, hot offense, underrated starter, fade on an overvalued pitcher. Give me the Oakland A's plus 162. I'm sorry, man. My internet sucks.
You're good. I mean, you said everything I started to lean into until you came back. So I'm glad you hit on all the same points because, like I said, that's why I had this one already pegged. My model's got it as a play, and I love it. It's a great spot.
So let's go ahead. Let's pull up DraftKings before my internet crashes again. So look, I've already put in 3 guys.
Are we putting in Sears? Are we putting in JP? Do we get Oakland in this?
You want to put in JP?
I mean, him or Ryan, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of good spots of pitchers tonight.
All right, let's put in JP. Okay.
Yeah.
I love Bergman. I love Wood, as I already talked about.
Yep.
Catcher, you've kind of had a man crush.
I mean, I love me some Cal Raleigh. I don't care what he's. Hold on a second. Let me just check something real quick. Yeah, he's still hitting like 300. So, I think he's worth a play.
I mean, his $5,000 salary though, man.
I know we could probably find a little cheaper, but let me see here. Who we got to work with? Let me look down the lineup here. How about Langoliers? How's he looking? Oh, put him in. Put in Langoliers for the Athletics. Like all the way down 3,900, dude. He's like right there. There you go. That dude's hitting 480. He's out of his mind right now.
First base position.
I'd stay away from Alonso with Rodon. Guerrero sucks. Olson's not going to get a good matchup tonight. Arias, maybe? Let me see here. Does he qualify? He's got pretty good numbers. I'd rather get someone with a little pop. I mean, let me see. What's Freeman doing? What's Freddie been doing? He's only hitting 400. I would probably go Freddie. You're going to get the most. If we're going to really put someone in there at that caliber, go Freddie.
You want to go Freddie?
Yeah.
Third base, shortstop. Hold on. Outfielder. I got to do this, dude. You know who I'm kind of looking at?
I mean, you got to be Tatis is one of them, right?
I was looking at Carpenter.
Carpenter?
Yeah.
Let me see what he's doing. Carpenter. Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
That's a great play. That's a great play.
You're looking at Tadee. I can't even freaking talk.
Nah, I'd stay away from him. There's got to be somebody better. Like, even Riley Green should tear it up. I would almost double down on Detroit. What's Duran doing? Let's go look at Duran. How's he looking? Nah, not so hot. Oh, we talked about Witt earlier.
So we had some higher plays. We're gonna have to cheapen it up a little bit, man. We're gonna have to cheapen it up a little bit.
Yeah, where are we at? 70. Oh shit.
Yeah, we got some high end efforts going. So you mentioned where is the Milwaukee team on this?
You got Tampa Bay. Who you got from Tampa Bay? Go to the Tampa Bay game. Let me see who we can try and plug and play from there a little bit.
They're not even offering. Oh shit!
Yeah, I thought they were.
So Ryan's more on. I'm just talking to myself here. You want to go Tampa?
Let's just see all hitters. Okay. Let's see what Morel's doing.
Lowe's been doing well.
Diaz. Andy. Nope. Man, I really want to take that rookie Simpson. I think he's worth it just for a cheaper play.
You want to go Simpson?
I think so.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut some people, man.
I know. We'll figure it out. Let's just put things in first.
What's Wilson?
You could actually cheapen it by taking out Sears and putting in Taj Bradley. Since I was just talking him up anyway.
Okay, boom. Now, what is...
Who do we have for third or short?
I like Wilson from the Athletics.
Oh, then so be it.
Opinion?
Oh wait, I'm looking. Hold on. Very good play.
And what about...
All right, third baseman?
What about... How do you feel about Garcia?
Texas?
Luis from the Nationals. Or CJ Abrams.
Oh, I love Abrams.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, Abrams for sure. What does he qualify for? He's only short though, right?
He's
He's
only
already got a shortstop. But for what it's worth, CJ hitting 429 over the last week. I mean, Wilson wasn't a bad play at all to have a short. All right, do we have to get cheap at first? I think we're going to have to get cheap at first to make it fit.
All right, let's find a third baseman.
Yep.
And then we'll figure out who to cut. Third baseman.
Arenado? How's he looking? Paredes? How's he looking? Moncada? How's he?
Where is my sheet?
I wouldn't mind going. Definitely can't do Arenado against Reagans. I go Paredes.
Paredes.
Like 3,800.
Spell it P-A. Boom. All right. So if we go cheaper at first base.
Yep. Oh, we have to go all the way down.
Oh, no, we got to go cheaper at two positions then.
Right.
Maybe we take...
Well, Arias wasn't bad.
Well, if we go like this...
What pitcher? Are you taking a different pitcher?
Yeah.
Why don't we go...
We go Spears.
Yeah.
That will give us 40.
There we go. That'll help a little bit.
Well,
All right, 48. So, how's Goldschmidt doing?
You want to go Soto in a revenge game?
Let's go Goldie.
You want to go Goldie?
Goldie, baby.
All right, so we got... I have to write this down because I'm going to have to enter this. We got Spears.
I'm just gonna help you out and take a picture.
Bradley,
Guy.
Laglers, Goldie, AB, the Wood, Carp. All right, cool. All right, there you have it. David, I'd like to thank you for coming on and talking a little MLB on Diamond Bets. We will be back next week. Best of luck in your bets. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, my friend?
Yeah, as always, look for me on Instagram, X, anything like that. Better DP21, same handle everywhere. Appreciate the time, man.
Make sure to give my boy a follow. Again, I apologize for my shitty ass internet, and